Hi, today we're going to talk about portfolio return measurements. First one is holding period return. It's a very simple return and it's quite intuitive. So, in holding period return, we take ending balance of the portfolio, we subtract the beginning balance from the ending balance, and we add any cash flow to the return, and we divide it by the beginning value. So that constitute a holding period return. For example, our portfolio has $1,000 of ending balance and $800 was the beginning balance, and we earn $200 of dividend or interest. So in this case, our return is for that period is 400, and if we divide it by the beginning balance, so in this case $800, so kind of a 50% return which we made on this portfolios. That's an example of HPR. Money weighted return we already talked about earlier. It's basically IRR, which equates the present value of inflows to the present value of outflow in the portfolio. It considers both the dollar amount and the timing of cash inflows and outflows in the portfolio. So the same calculation which we do for IRR, we do it to calculate the money weighted return. It's more advisable when the investor or portfolio manager have discretionary control over the timing and the amount of withdrawals and addition to the portfolio, because both the amount and the timing, they do affect the IRR. So that's the reason money weighted return is more preferable. Time weighted return also we did talk about earlier. Basically it's HPR, which we compute at multiple intervals, at multiple periods over the time. So whenever there is a big inflow in the portfolio, and when there is a big outflow in the portfolio, we compute the HPR for that period. So it's kind of averaging out the HPR, holding period return, over the period. So in this case, we are calculating HPR for period 1, period 2, up to period n, and we subtract -1. The reason we add 1 plus, so that any negative return uh, uh, effect can be negated, so it always be in positive numbers. It actually, by multiplying it, the return over the period, you can see it has it takes into account the compounded effect of the investment. And the good part about it, it doesn't affected by the cash inflow and outflow of the portfolio, because it's considering is the compounding effect of the return, not the inflow and outflow uh, which are made to the portfolio. If the investment manager doesn't have the discretionary control over the timing and amount of withdrawals and addition to the portfolio, time based return is much more preferable.